Good evening, everybody. This is Gordon from Grinning Gargoyle Gaming, and I am joined by all of my players. Some of us only on Discord, but that is fine. We will still roll dice and have fun and see how much trouble we can get into. Previously, our adventurers had made their way to the town of Seaton, where they learned that that they had been attacked during the night, as had the town itself. Well, the city is more the city, where some of these goblins and hobgoblins and things had tried to sneak into the city and set fire to some of the ships that were in dock. Most of which, from you guys that went down to the docks, most of which were actually military ships, as the Duke as well as the King is currently ramping up, naval. The navy at this point, an attempt to counter the surge in piracy and smuggling that they feel the sea princes are ultimately behind, longtime foes of the kingdom of Keoland. You guys made yourselves very comfortable at the Lark and Laurel, a fabulous little inn with like 3 Michelin stars or something as well. Great food, lots of masseuses, you name it, you could get it there. Xerxes made a new friend, a new halfling friend. Xerxes makes lots of halfling friends, I just realized. There must be a reason for that.
I should probably write down what their races are, right?
Nah, it's not necessary. But yeah, it could be. And you had also received a summons to appear at the Ducal court the next morning. You guys, on that morning, went looking for some trinkets. You stopped by the temples or the chapels to Procan and Osprum in the city, and made your way to the Ducal Palace to meet up with Carolus, who had decided to get a head start. You were met by a certain gentleman, not really old, but old enough, wearing black robes and a black skull cap, holding a nice ornate staff, Master Rowan Sharnvale, the court wizard and the Duke's seneschal, who left you waiting in the waiting area while he proceeded into the audience chambers to speak with the Duke. The doors were closed, and that is where we left off last night.
Last time.
Last time. Did I say last night?
Yep.
Please excuse me. I am super tired. So, I don't think that I forget anything else important, guys.
But I want to check. I probably would have checked with the temples before I left, but what? How do we address the Duke?
How do you address the Duke?
Like, is it just... Okay.
So Mr. Duke.
Mr. Duke. Your dukiness.
Your Dukiness.
Dookie.
10 of your gummy bears. No, the correct term would be Your Grace.
Lord. Okay, Grace.
Yeah. Your Grace. So as you're standing out here, you can see there's quite a few people. I mean, I think I did describe two previously. There's a mixture of merchants and some peasant folk, a couple of nobles, not really distinguishable from the richer merchants because they wear the same clothes, they have the same affectations, etc. But you can see there's benches, there's also servants bringing, like goblets of wine to the more, what's the word I'm looking for? The gentlefolk. And to the peasants, they just get like watered down ale, but the Duke is at least offering these things. They come to you with trays with goblets on, and you can see there is a mixture of wines and ales on there for you. They are not certain what to do with a party of adventurers. Would you like to imbibe?
I'll take the first tray to myself.
The whole tray?
Yeah. I'm just kidding. I will grab a goblet of wine.
There's wine. I'll just still be laying on around Beirut's neck and just grab a glass.
All right.
And Scarf drinks as well.
Yeah, I'll grab a glass as well.
All right.
How about?
So as you busy sipping and having a look, the doors open up after a while, and you see a young lad dressed in the Duke's livery come out, and he walks straight towards you guys. And he gives like a little, half bow, and in a very high-pitched voice says, I'm not going to even bother to try it because my voice will not do it, but he basically says, His Grace will see you shortly. They are just busy handling some final matters of justice, after which the court will be cleared for your audience. Please continue to partake and be patient. Do not leave under any circumstances. And he gives another short little half bow, and he disappears down a little side entrance, like a little room adjoining, not room, a door adjoining that goes into like a passage that you can see. So is there anything you're doing while you're waiting?
Yes, I'm gonna do as ordered and continue to partake.
I'm counting the roof tiles.
Oh, you
Partake
can-
of what?
Okay. But you can see, like, this place is neat. You see, like, the tiles are a combination of grey and, like, a pale blue, making various geometric patterns and things on the ground. But you can see towards the doors, there is an inlaid pattern on the floor. What strikes you, though, is as unusual as that this pattern is not the Ducal crest that you've come to recognize now as the field separated left and right, red and blue swords and ships. This looks different, and I actually realize I think I bloody closed that webpage. Excuse me for a second while I find shit. Because I can't. My brain is doing its brain fart thing, and I can't remember what the coat of arms looks like.
It's basically my entire day every day.
It's terrible.
It is.
Some works actually.
Mickey, are you
I'm
okay there?
Maybe.
Um,
Not talking to myself.
The voices are
Well,
speaking.
don't worry.
again.
The brain farts continue because apparently I remember seeing something about a coat of arms, and there is no coat of arms for this. Would anybody like to make a history check for me?
It's got to do with book for sure.
Hi.
We have to be
There we go.
That's pretty good. No, you don't have to be proficient. This is more like a general knowledge of the region.
No, I kind of don't want to roll because
What?
those are some really good rolls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't like my odds tonight.
Corkarius is the best roll of all.
That's two nat ones, the first two rolls for me.
At least,
Well,
at
get-
least you are
get
not
them out
rolling
at the
death
beginning.
saves.
Tonight? Before I get us all.
Hey D, welcome to the chat. So as you're looking at this, you do recognize, well, at least some of you recognize Siren Beirut and who's that? Xerxes. You understand this to be the house sigil, basically, of the Viscounty of Salenmoor. You guys at Roll 21 will also remember that traditionally the city of Seaton and generally the area around it, including Saltmarsh and that, was ruled by the mouth doesn't want to work. The Viscounts of Salenmoor. But obviously something has changed since the Duke and all his finery is now bedecking the place. So moments go by, the door opens once again, and you see a whole procession of people moving out. And a familiar-looking face with handlebar moustaches leaves and steps up to you guys. And he's wearing his full-plate armor, he's got his spurs on, his boots, the whole works. And your acquaintance, Sir Vesnir Applegate, greets you. The Duke will see you now. Please follow me. Remember, speak only when spoken to. When you speak to the Duke, do not mention his brother if you can. It's considered poor form. The pain is still too near to him. And, yes, just be polite. No bullshit.
Wait, I obviously missed something. Did his brother die? What?
He clears his throat. He says, the Duke is not the first Duke to hold this position. The Duke's older brother, Orbitus Feldrin, held governorship of Seaton and the surrounds for around a year before he fell ill to a mysterious sickness. His brother was then appointed to become Duke in his place by the king.
Interesting.
Follow me. And he does a quick turn and marches off towards the doors. And as you enter the space, you can see it's like not like decadent. It's like not like marble everywhere, but the stone is polished and finely worked. You know, there's some scrolling and patterning in the columns to either side of you. The room itself is probably only around 20 feet wide by about 40 feet long. Towards the end, you see that dais where the Duke is seated upon, and you see Master Shanvale standing on the steps just below him. And Sir Applegate marches confidently down this nice, rich blue carpet towards the Duke. And a herald, as you start stepping in, somebody's obviously given your names to this herald, as he starts calling you out one by one as you step through the doors. Just, Xerxes, Siren, Carolus, Carcarius, Beirut, Cyan. You're going to stand there still?
As soon as he calls my name, yeah. As soon as he calls my name, I'll stand dead still.
Oh, before we do anything, where is Oceanus?
I don't know, would he have joined us for this?
Gone but not forgotten.
I doubt he would have joined us for this, but he would probably be...
I think he may have joined because he's got fuck all else to do.
Not that he's understanding any of the conversation.
Yeah. But I mean, I would have, if he is joining us, I would have told him just keep quiet, I'll translate later.
Okay. And, well, if he's with you, you will also notice that there are quite a number of appreciative glances towards him. A sea elf is a very unusual sight. And that one is traveling in your company sort of makes you, even more more interesting to the people at court. But Beirut, as you stand still, or just stop in your tracks, Oceanus bumps into you.
Don't stab him.
Make a dexterity saving check.
Oh god.
Ooh.
How tall is he?
How tall is Oceanus?
Mm-hmm.
Probably, if I remember right, 5'7", 5'8". He's not huge. Okay, yeah, so he just bumps into you, and you don't lose your balance or anything.
And he does.
But I should probably make a roll for him. Where's his stupid character sheet? I'm trying to open it.
Very strong.
Wow. Yeah, he kind of stumbles, and he grabs onto your belt.
No.
Be careful.
Don't stab him.
Yeah,
And
good.
he says something in Elvish. I don't know. You don't understand Elvish, do you, Beirut? I don't know. Let's see what he says.
The least of us do.
Everybody else does.
Yes.
No.
Just sort of giggle at Beirut.
Oh,
Sorry, sir.
And I'll say this back.
towards the front, the Duke has like steepled his fingers as he's watching this.
You can just exaggerate everything you say.
Beirut, just move.
Be more careful. And he knock.
And Lad, look at the language I said that in.
Oh, an Aquan. And he's doubly surprised. And he basically apologizes again and like takes a step back. And the herald that's standing there at the door kind of like says in a loud stage whisper, "Hurry it up! Don't keep the Duke waiting!"
And I'll continue walking in. I'll just grunt at him.
And you see Sir Applegate is standing there where he stopped. He bows low to the Duke, and as he does this side step to like half turn towards you, he's basically motioning for you guys to form like a line or a half circle in front of the Duke's chair. Do you comply?
As much as I can.
Yeah.
No, I comply.
Yeah.
I mean, like out of character, I really don't like the powers that be, but I don't want to be thrown into jail.
But you do like your head.
Yeah, Xerxes is smart enough not to piss off the guys with a lot of power just yet.
Yeah.
Um,
So,
So as you line yourselves up and you have a look, you see that most of the people in this room, as I said, have left. There are, next to each one of the columns in the room, there is a guard wearing the Duke's colours. In addition to the Duke and the Seneschal, there's also a small gaggle of what appear to be noblemen off to the right-hand side of the, I'm going to call it a throne because that's basically what it is. And the gentleman in front, Master Seanvale, addresses you and says, "Bow before His Grace Duke Marik Feldron."
I'll nod my head.
Just
I'll
nod.
do like a not full to the waist, but a low bow.
yeah.
Cyan, seeing how everyone else is like kind of not, he'll like drop to both knees to like compensate. And he looks like kind of fearful of this like kingly figure.
And still with the hat glued to your head.
Flail my arms dramatically, as in bowing. Like,
I'm just
So are you one of those like inflatable roadside men?
like but like very dramatically bowing. Yes.
Okay.
Oh god, we're gonna die.
So
I'm just gonna bow normally.
interestingly, the Duke, like, he's still sitting there with his steepled fingers, and you just catch the corner of his mouth lifting slightly, but he's like trying his very best to just keep this very stern demeanor. And he says, "You may rise. A simple half bow will do in future."
Easy.
Already 7 foot off the ground.
And stepping out from that gaggle of noblemen is Lord Resford in his finest red and gold attire. And he comes to stand a little bit forward and closer to the Duke. And the Duke motions with a hand that's like bedecked in jeweled rings. And he says, Lord Resford here tells me that you have offered many services to the township of Saltmarsh, and you have proven yourselves reliable and skilled by all accounts.
No, well,
Now,
glad to know. Well, never mind. I'm gonna shut up. Never mind. I wasn't saying anything.
so you just like start talking, then like.
Oh, no, I would have about to, but as soon as I hear start carry on talking, I was like, okay.
And he says, "Can you tell me why you decided to help the township of Saltmarsh? One of you may speak for the group, or you can speak individually if you prefer.
Sorry, what was the question again? I didn't catch that.
Why did you decide to help the town of Saltmarsh in the way that you
It's
did?"
home. But it's my home.
I'm a
So.
protector. That's what I do.
And the rest of you?
Well, I joined this group in honor of a friend.
I don't know if you've noticed. Oh, sorry. No, please go ahead.
I came because I was sent. That's why I helped the
That
group
is
in
a
Scotland.
perfect comment for a dwarf. It's like proper, what's the word I'm looking for? A pragmatist. You know, it's like, I'm here because I am here.
Yes, I'm here because I was sick.
And he looks to you, Xerxes, and you, Tiefling. Your kind are most unusual in these southern parts. What brings a Tiefling to the kingdom of Keoland, and to the aid of others?
I'm here to gather knowledge and become the best sorcerer in the lands. And if I pull along the way on my quest to become more powerful, then everyone wins.
He says, very interesting. And he's like, gives a side glance at his court wizard, to the good master. And he says, it looks like you've got some competition. And he turns to the chatty one, who's like, stop talking now, to you, Byron. And he says, and you? Are you a warrior of some sort as well?
I'm a warrior of the light of Osprum, the goddess. I think, yeah, yes, I am a mighty warrior, and I'm spreading her word. Tell me, do you have a royal clergyman?
Royal? No. I don't need a royal one, I'm a duke.
Do you have a dukely clergyman?
No.
Well, this is your lucky day, because I think you could benefit from one.
He says, I think you are misunderstanding something, both you and your sorceress friend. It wasn't that long ago that magic of any kind, both clerical and arcane, was outlawed. And by rights, if I was to follow the old dictates, I could have your heads. But thank God we're not superstitious anymore.
Yes, exactly, my dear Ducal Applegate. We are now in the times of the future. You look like a man of progression and of expansion.
I need you to make a dexterity saving throw for me, please, Byron. As Sir Applegate, who is standing fairly close to you, steps forward and attempts to smack you on the back of the head. For your insolence.
How far is he from me?
I think Sign wouldn't move. I think he'll just take it. Even if
You'll
he's
just take it.
He'll just take it. Yeah, he wouldn't try to offend the king by showing that he can dodge it.
And Sir Applegate like gives you the smack on the back of the head, and you like lose your balance slightly. And he says, "Hold your tongue, cur. I'm Applegate. This is Duke Faldrin."
Oh, my bad. Sorry, I'm not wearing my spectacles. And then I turn 90 degrees and I look at the wall.
That feels sad.
The Duke like stands up off of the throne and like approaches, not like super close to you. He's maybe standing about 10 feet away from you guys now. He's basically closed half the distance. And he puts his hands on his hips and he's giving Cyan a very curious look, and he says, "Is this one a bit touched?"
You are very
Yes,
That would be.
Oscar did touch me, you're right.
And I'll just say very.
We must take pity on them. He says, "But on to business. I would hear from you whether you are interested in continuing your services to the land. Whether it be for whatever motivation, power, coin, knowledge. It doesn't matter much to me, but I'll thank you not to interrupt me." And he says, "By way of this, we have been outfitting a ship, according to Lord Restford, that is supposed to go to you, according to the Council of Saltmarsh. Spoils of war, so to speak. It just so happens that we are busy ramping up our own naval presence in the Azure Sea. The Sea Princes have become restless of late. Ever since we took Westkeep, they have been building up their forces, and just last night we were attacked by goddamn goblins and hobgoblins from the damn Dreadwood. I don't know what is going on, but needless to say, I need it stopped. So it's up to you. Will you sign a contract? I will basically give you letters of marque, giving you permission to hunt down and keep 50% of the loot. The other 50% is to be turned over whenever you come to any of Keoland's ports as a tax, so to speak. But these letters of marque will give you permission to hunt down any smuggler vessels or sea prince vessels that you see. You may speak now."
Does the land include the sea?
What do you mean?
You said protect the land, but the ship goes on sea.
This one's not bright either, is he?
You boat on the land.
Sorry, guys.
He's more different, but it's still right.
What did you say,
Right.
Ellen?
Do we generally have to call him Your Grace? It reminds me of Joffrey. And that kind of, I want to vomit a little bit every time I think about that.
You do need to call him Your Grace.
They had that reflex gag, like that reflexive gag thing when you gag when other people gag. So like,
Oh no.
I'm just gonna tune him. Your Grace, we would welcome that proposal. Sorry, Alan's English is awful.
Don't worry, Gordon's English is awful tonight as well. I'm trying to sound very pompous and like self-assured, but I'm failing at it. And the Duke says, "I will have the papers set up, and you will basically what will happen is all along, or all throughout the kingdom, heralds will be sent forth to announce to those in power that you are working for me, and by me, of course, the king himself, as I am his representative here. I must warn you, however, do not attack anybody who you just suspect of being a sea prince. You need to. You can only attack. Your permission, or should I say, I'm trying to think of the right word. Yeah, the permission that's being given to you is basically you are allowed to take on vessels that are clearly sea prince vessels. They're flying their colors, or they have identified themselves as such. Of course, if you are attacked by pirates, I expect you to annihilate them.
Right.
And I might require your services for other things.
You want pirate ships? Or must we sink pirate ships?
If you can capture the pirate ships, all the better. Every ship that is seaworthy and has some sort of armaments on them would be a valuable addition to the King's fleet.
50% though.
You get to keep 50% of whatever valuable stuff is on there. Oh, we lost Mickey. Her PC, or more accurately, more likely, Windows decided to update and restart her PC.
Oh no.
My machines did that last night.
Yeah, mine did last night.
Curses.
Failed miserably. Or the other night, whatever it was.
I've lost my train of thought with that. I know, so basically,
But
yeah, so
I was going to mention, 5 months later, we return with a fleet of ships.
well, keep in mind.
You get a ship.
Keep in mind, you need a crew to sail the ship. This is not Sea of Thieves, with 4 people can sail this huge ship.
That's fine. Sail or die. It's a simple enough.
But he says, yeah, if you do manage to capture any vessels and you bring them to Seaton, we can work out the particulars, but we will reimburse you for your efforts. We might even forego the 50% tax in those cases. Of course, a ship is far more valuable. Regarding your own ship, the what was it called? Wave Piercer? Wave Crasher?
Wave Piercer is correct.
That's the one. He says, regarding that ship, it is not completely outfitted as yet. The work has been retarded by the attack last night. They set the entire foredeck and the new ballista that was being loaded onto there alight. We have to wait for the craftsman to make a new one. So it will be a couple of weeks at least before you can set sail on your newly christened vessel. Actually, that's a good question. What would it be if it's not in a world with Christendom? Wouldn't be christened, would it?
No.
Named? Whatever.
Ordained.
Ordained.
No.
Sorry, just a random thought that popped into my head.
Can
All
I
the
speak?
messages.
Is he done? Like, can I say something?
Yeah, no, he's finished. He's waiting.
Your Grace, it would please me ever so much if we could help assist in destroying these filthy goblins and hobgoblins that are wreaking havoc in the harbor.
From what I hear, you've already done a remarkable task of doing just that. I was brought up to date on the attack on the caravan that you defended.
I'm
Let's
sure
just
there
say-
are more around.
I cannot say too much, but there is a counter-offensive being planned. There is a new power rising in the Dreadwood. Something spurs these creatures on. I have sent scouts, as well as ambassadors to the elves to see if we can find out a little bit more about these creatures.
I'll also
What?
say the troll.
What troll?
Yeah. Well, we've had an encounter in the Dreadwoods that may be connected to this unifying force that you speak of.
The Witch in the Woods.
The witch
It's
in
a
the
funny
woods.
night.
A funny night, a troll. Please elaborate. And he starts walking back up to his throne and motions for a servant to bring him something to drink. And he's got this goblet of wine resting on the arm of his throne as he's listening to your tale. I won't ask you to say the whole thing, because I, as DM, know what's going on. But he listens to this whole explanation of this troll that was attacking things, and this strange figure that you've seen, or that you saw, hovering on the edge of the battlefield.
And the hag.
Yeah, and the hag that was mentioned. And he says...
And sorry, we won't mention to him anything about the troll wanting to get information from me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any related things to Beru will.
Okay, so just basically broad strokes, what happened. No big secrets. The Duke says this is puzzling. There's always been trolls and hags and dragons and all kinds of shit coming out of that fucking forest. But if a hag is busy organizing them, I believe that might shed a little bit of light on these strange symbols. When you were attacked by the goblins, did you also notice, and he motions over to a page, and you see that they are busy carrying a helmet that looks like it's made out of just crude iron, but painted on the helmet in white paint is that same symbol of the three lines struck through, that you had seen on the goblins that had attacked you. And he says, the raiders that we slaughtered during the night all had these markings upon them. Master Shale over here. Sorry, what were you going to say, Richard?
I was just going to say the ones we fought had them too.
He says, Master Sharnvale, I said Shale, I don't know where that came from. Master Sharnvale has a suspicion. Do you know how hags generally operate?
This hag is different.
Be that as it may, I think I will let Master Sharnvale explain his theory to you. And you see the court wizard shuffle forward, grab this helmet from the young page, and come to stand in front of you all. And he leans his staff against his shoulder, like the crook of his arm kind of thing, and he's pointing at this helmet that he's holding up. And he says, each of these lines, I believe, represents a coven. But what is unusual is that there are usually 3 crones in a coven. And there are 3 and 3 and 3. So we are speaking about the possibility of at least 9. If there are 3 separate covens who have joined in some sort of alliance, this is my suspicion. I'm not certain what we are going to be able to do about it. We are considering some sort of expedition to try and hunt them down, but we are still, as the good Duke has just said, gathering information. What I have suggested is that if anybody is familiar with the Dreadwood, that they perhaps make such an incursion themselves to investigate on our behalf. I do not know.
Dangerous.
Yes, we are well aware that the Dreadwood is dangerous, but do any of you have experience in it?
My home.
Your home? What do you mean, your home? I know of no furbolgs living in the Dreadwood.
We hidden.
Hidden furbolgs. He looks back at the Duke, and the Duke motions for you to continue, Bayru. And he says, explain. Why are they hidden? Other than the obvious reasons of danger.
We are a small village. Keep to ourselves. Hunt, eat, sleep. Protect. Piece of Dreadwood.
You protect a piece of the Dreadwood. From the hag.
Everyone.
From everyone.
So
this was the wizard speaking, by the way.
So hidden. Stay hidden. Rule 1, Furbolg. Stay hidden.
Would you be willing to tell us how to find your people? This is the Duke.
No.
Mickey, you have just disconnected.
My PC restarted
Yeah.
like a while back.
I did see your messages. You must just remember, if you do want to come back in and it's still saying that you're logged in, I can just kick you. I enjoy kicking people.
We're talking, so I didn't want to interrupt.
No problem. So he says, would you be willing to escort an ambassador of sorts to your people? How would you describe their knowledge of the area? Do they know only their specific part of the Dreadwood, or are they more widely venturous, if I can put it that way?
Only know our part. But I am exile.
You are an exile.
Yes. Well, I left village.
So
Not allowed to return.
Your people sound harsh.
It's our way.
Well, so much for that idea, says the wizard. The Duke says, well, we will continue exploring other avenues for now. It's not your concern. When we need you, we will get in touch by some manner or form. Most likely, Master Sharnvale here will send you a message by magical means. A bird or some such. He says, regarding the paperwork and such, the letters of marque I'll have drawn up immediately. There's nothing much to it, not much of a ceremony. Like I say, we want to try and keep it fairly secret. You will be known to work for me, but your capacity, unless you advertise it, will not be known by most people. And I do advise you to, if you find yourself visiting foreign ports, etc., do not advertise who you work for too strongly. You are not to fly the Keoland colors unless I give you a specific order to do so. Is that clear?
Yep.
What flag do we fly then?
Whatever flag you wish. There are many fine seamstresses in town. You can create your flag of your own design. Which is something that we can do later, now that I think of it. We can figure out a nice emblem or flag, if you'd like, for the wave piercer. We can discuss it in a bit. I'm trying to think if there was something else. I had my notes, but in true Dungeon Master fashion, make notes, forget where you put them. Sure, no. Sorry, no, my brain is so tired I can't even think of it offhand. If it is something important, I will bring it up at some point. With that, the Duke basically is done with you. Is there anything else you want to bring to his attention? I'm leaving it up to you guys now.
I'm really, really keen to sort of ask him. Let me put the words together, I guess. Might you have an armory that we could outfit ourselves at to better prepare ourselves for the journey that lies ahead?
I see where you're going for, Ed. And I'm trying to think how the Duke would respond to this. Because technically, you are working for him, but you are not really a part of the military as such. You're basically mercenaries. And as mercenaries, you would be expected to outfit yourself. And he says the following to you. I'm already footing the bill for the re-outfitting of your ship. On your ship, there will be... I remember the other thing that I wanted to talk about. Fantastic. There will be enough weapons for the contingent of Marines that will be stationed aboard your ship. I'm actually trying to recall. Your ship was a sailing ship, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm trying to remember what...
A giant warship.
A giant warship. Warship.
Both of those are correct.
I'm trying to remember. It's supposed to have a ballista and a mangonel. The vessel has a crew of 30 and can carry 20 passengers. The vessel has a cargo capacity of 100 tons.
I can tell you one thing, we're going to have the happiest Marines ever.
That is very, very true.
So, I'm just trying to figure out, because they say the crew, but this does not, that crew would not include the Marines. You guys, you 6 would be part of the crew, and then obviously you would have a whole bunch of sailors on board as well. So that extra 20 passengers, I'm feeling probably 10 of the crew and 10 of the passengers. I'm going to say will be... So 20 people out of the 50 people that can be on that ship will be Marines. Fighting men. Trained at fighting ship to ship. He says these Marines will be on loan basically to you for a period of 1 year and 1 day for as long as you are basically privateers for the Kingdom of Keoland. They will deny that they work for the kingdom, as you must. They will not wear any uniforms that identify them as members of our military, unless specifically ordered to do so by the Duke himself, or one of his representatives. He says, the rest of the crew, we can either attempt to fill out on your behalf, or you can conduct your own interviews. What would you like to do?
What do you guys think?
No one's going to respond. I'll respond. I think you know your city better than what we do. So if everyone's okay with it, I think you can take the onus upon yourself.
And that's funny.
What?
That Peter is captain and I am, first mate? And then Alan knows all.
And then the navigator makes all the decisions.
Hey, I'm the quartermaster. I have to put people in those rooms.
All I care about is the ballista is mine.
I'm going to keep the crew together.
I'm here to keep spirits up.
I'll just make sure you all don't die.
So he says, very well, I will leave it in Lord Restford's hands to find you a crew competent enough to sail that ship. It might not be the full contingent required, other than the Marines, so you might need to pick up some additional sailors on your own, but you will at least, with the Marines' help, be able to get the ship going, so to speak. He basically tells you he's going to set a date for the ship to be completed for 2 weeks from now, more or less. So you have some time to do other shit if you want. He also says if they are looking for you, he's going to give you something just to make it easier. And the court wizard drops a stone marked with the Duke's emblem in somebody's hand.
I'll put my hand out for it.
I was just about to say.
And yeah, it's like polished perfectly smooth. It's made out of like a bluish grey stone. And the court wizard promptly like starts explaining that this is a sending stone. Don't lose it. Don't eat it.
But would I know what a sending stone is?
Make an Arcana check. Magic is not like super well.
Nope.
well
Okay, so I'm listening intently to how he's explaining.
Wanted to help.
Even if he's being condescending, I don't care. I'm still trying to pay attention to how it works.
Okay, well, Mickey said she was helping you, so
Yes.
make your roll with advantage. Hell, Xerxes doesn't even know what a sending stone is.
Yeah, I'm just gonna make another roll. Well, then... Hey, there we go.
Yay!
You know all the things. No, you just know that it's a magical device.
Okay, so then I'm keeping a very polite face if he's being condescending.
Yeah. And basically, he's just basically saying that if you need to contact the Duke, you can basically picture the court wizard's face, all lined and wrinkled as it is, in your mind, and it should establish a connection.
Okay. Oh, thank you for this. We'll use it only when necessary. But it's good to have the option.
Yes, well, don't think that we're going to come to your assistance if you get yourself into trouble. This is more so that the Duke isn't inconvenienced when he's looking for you.
Fair enough.
I have a question when this is all done.
Yeah?
And said. No, just after all of this.
After all of this. Well, unless there's anything else that needs to be discussed, the Duke is going to resume his courtly duties and administer justice.
Wait. What are we calling him? Your Grace, what?
Your Grace.
Yeah. Okay. No, I'll be saying that. I'd like to be like looking to the side, be like, okay. I'll like slip down from Beirut and then straighten myself up. Be like, you're a Duke, so you know people, right?
I know many people, yes.
Like other noble people.
Yes.
Do you know I
didn't tell you what this guy looks like.
The Muffin Man.
Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man.
You want to tell us how he looks like?
The timing on that was perfect. No, basically this dude is like fairly, not like old, he's in his mid-30s. Short cropped curly black hair, grey eyes, muscular, military man. That's all. Clean shaven.
Baby face. Do you? It's like I forget if she's
baby
short.
face, clean shaven, no beard.
So baby face.
Whatever you tell yourself.
Fine. 5 o'clock shadow. Yeah.
Fair enough. I don't forget if she's short or tall. She's a noble woman, I'm guessing. Short black hair. Two guys follow her. I forget.
You've just described half of the noble woman in the
Yes,
kingdom.
I'm trying to find her colors. Okay, I forgot where I wrote it. Yep, there we go. Nope, there are no colors here, is there? I can't pronounce it because I don't know what I wrote.
Oh, you're looking for the Shelacel.
Yes.
Okay. At mentioning of Shelacel, the Duke says, as point of fact, I have a meeting with the young lady in question tomorrow. Apparently, our families have decided that we should be wed, and I am to meet her and host her in a formal banquet.
That's great. That's very nice.
I believe she's staying at one of the more affluent inns in town.
I'll turn white,
Why are
even
you...
though I have fur. My fur just turns white.
The parts where there's just skin, like nose, mouth, they pale.
White.
Um,
Just white.
He says, "Why are you looking for?"
No worries. I just saw her thing, her flag, her colors, her sigil. Yes, that's whatever. And I was just interested. She seems nice.
I have no idea. I have yet to meet her.
I'll just scurry away.
And the Duke says, "Well, this has been a most interesting experience, but I have much business to still take care of this day. Justice to dispense, etc. You may leave."
Man.
And the old Sir Applegate starts making funny noises at you, like hurry up, go.
Me first.
Get out, down that way, that way, go.
I'll pick up Kitty Cat and walk out.
Right. There we go.
So you're escorted out by Sir Applegate, and the doors stay open, and you see another gaggle of noble people start marching their way up the carpet towards the Duke's throne before the doors are shut by the guards. And you are escorted back into the waiting area by the court mage as well as Sir Applegate. And these two will continue making small talk with you if you have anything that you want to ask or say. Now's the time to do it. Otherwise, they will also take their leave and rejoin the proceedings.
I'll just
I'd like
straight
to
out with Kitty Cat.
apologize.
Sorry, say it again, Byron.
Sorry, I just want to apologize to Applegate for the misunderstanding of the pronouns earlier, and I'll just say to him, just keep in mind that, a mouth to the ear of the goddess could always come in handy. Keep Ostrom in mind. And kind of satisfyingly just puff my chest out and look at everyone else.
I will keep it in mind. Good day. And he starts he starts marching back, and the court wizard before he leaves, he says one last thing. I do various bits of research in my spare time, of course. If you do find yourselves coming across anything weird or strange, don't be shy about letting me know about it. I had to say all that in the Duke's presence, but if there is something in particular that strikes your interest and you think might strike my interest, if your powerful sorcerer here, and he gives you a half a mocking bow, Xerxes. He says, if your powerful sorcerer doesn't require it, I would gladly purchase it from you. Monstrous bits and pieces, whatever you might find.
Sorry, I didn't catch your name.
It is Master Seanvale.
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 So just Seanvale then.
Master Rowan Seanvale.
Shotvale.
Make sure it's not shite
I
whale.
see what you're doing there. And he says, yes, well, good day to you. And just starts walking away, like huffing a little bit. No, like that staff of his is like hammering the ground. You can see the almost petulant striking against the floor. And yeah, you are left to your own devices once more. What would you like to do?
Eye on the inside.
I think we 100% need to go grab some food, and then we need to go smash some ghost ships.
I'll while everyone's still unity, just gonna go aside to Siren. It's like, are you okay?
I'm
Well,
okay.
You broke up there, missed that.
I was saying, remember, I just walked straight out with Siren. I was carrying Siren.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. I'll save the question for later.
Okay.
So, you guys, you want to go grab some lunch, and
Drink.
yeah, then I should imagine over lunch, Alan, you're going to tell the rest of them about your meeting with Orbrick.
Ooh, Orbrick. Notes. Blah blah blah. Mansion. Blah blah blah. So I didn't actually. No one knows about that yet.
Nobody knows about it at all.
No.
No, you came straight from meeting him.
Yes, then 100%. I was there. Hey guys, I've come across a quest. Shall we go and discuss it over some mead? And I'm in the mood for seafood.
Theobald, you're in the right place.
Yep. I'm gonna go get drunk. Let's go.
Oh, I wouldn't suggest getting drunk. I think you should hear this first, but we should definitely have a couple
Well,
drinks.
the way you're talking, it sounds like we're gonna need a drink to hear about it.
Well, you're also going to need to not have too many drinks to deal with it.
Fair enough.
So, are you making your way back to the place where you were staying?
Might as well, I guess. Or,
Where's-
I don't know. Isn't there like a if there's a cool restaurant like on the way, like where you can get some chow.
There's
Otherwise,
not
yeah, I'm pretty
really
sure that
restaurants and such. I mean,
Yeah.
most of the things are just your taverns and your inns. There's some
Is there a
food
Subway?
stalls. Is there a Subway? You're making me list now. I haven't had Subway in years. Anyway,
Does it still exist here?
I
Yeah.
have no idea.
Yeah.
Does?
Sure,
The quality went down.
oh, is
Sorry.
it? Well, then I don't miss it. Then, yeah, you make your way to the Lark and Laurel. Lunch is whatever they have available. Probably a selection of cold meats and fresh breads and cheeses and things, and whatever you want to drink.
I'm sending someone to get me fish, like
Fish.
proper, not like trouty sea type fish. I want like calamaris and prawns and shrimps and things.
Okay, you want some shellfish.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, you can probably get something to that effect, and some nice fresh squid, fried up in batter. Whatever you want, it's yours. It's a seaside town, so I should imagine they cook all kinds of things. You'll probably find a fair amount of the fish is also like brined or like what my people do, the Norwegian folk. What do you call it? Ugh, yes, my brain does not want to work tonight.
Ferment.
Yeah, like the fermented fish, yeah, like the pickled herring and that kind of stuff. So yeah, you can have whatever you want. So you are seated.
Delicacy food.
Eh? Say that again. Evan.
Delicacy food.
Delicacies.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, whichever.
Furbolg from forest this is a delicacy.
Would a furbolg from the forest eat those kinds of seafood?
We'll try.
I'm imagining our youngest niece who refuses to try sushi.
Sushi.
Already.
So, yeah, you're sitting there and feel free to discuss.
Did he say 20,000 gold?
No.
I don't remember what the
The agreement was for 10% of what he can get when he gets his papers, his documents, and that, and he turns it into cold hard cash. The whole, or everything that it was in there, was worth about 100,000. So it's 10,000 gold pieces.
And I told him I wanted more, and he said what, like 15,000.
Oh yes, that's right. You did actually persuade him for more, and 15, I think it was. Yeah.
Okay.
Though he did also mention to you that in addition to his enchanted chest on the ship,
we can take anything.
Yeah, you can basically have at it, because whatever was on there, the ship has been lost for many years, like 15 years, 10, 15 years, which makes its reappearance so strange, just floating out at sea. He also did mention that there were some items on board that were being transported for noble friends of his that have pretty much been thought lost, and you are welcome to those as well.
Okay, so for the sake of brevity, I'm just going to sort of touch on this quest again. Essentially got word of it in Saltmarsh, decided to check it out, went and spoke to this guy, he's minor nobility. His name's Albrecht Drallion. He had a ship that went missing 15 years ago, which has now suddenly reappeared. No one else wants to go anywhere near it. It does sound like it might be quite dangerous, but we get to take the spoils upwards of 15,000 gold's worth to split between us. And it's 20 miles off the coast. All we need to secure is a dark blue metal box that's on the ship, and he has a ship and crew ready for us should we wish to accept this quest.
I mean, that'll definitely give us, take our time while we wait for our ship.
Oh, you know what I just realized? There's one thing that he did want you guys to have in advance. He was offering you guys in advance. So he would have actually given this to you if you agreed to. I don't think you actually agreed. You said you would talk to your compatriots first. Okay.
And he was busy drawing up a contract or something of that like,
right.
And I was going to go back and let him know what we came to agreement on.
But basically, as like a signing on bonus, if you will, he's going to give you 200 gold pieces up front for the purchasing of equipment and whatever else you might, or you think you might need. It's a gesture of good faith kind of a thing.
So what say you?
Well, I'm for it.
I'm also in.
I'm just not driving the boat this time.
We've got a crew.
No. What could go wrong?
I will show thumbs up.
Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Carolus?
Yeah, why not? I'll get us some drink. Bartender, a round for us, please.
Alright.
Yes.
So you're purchasing a round of what?
Your cheapest, finest ale.
So that's
Not
like,
getting
what, 5
drunk.
copper pieces each?
Oh, yes, good sir, thank you. And bring the bottle.
Ale isn't served in a bottle, typically.
Okay,
He
then
does place
definitely your
a
cheapest.
a clay jug on the table.
A keg.
No, not a keg. A keg is not exactly something that can fit on the table.
No. Not a keg. Oh, no. Fine, just a cup each. A small cup, please. Thank you.
I want keg for Kitty.
I want to get drunk.
What? I can't afford that.
I can. Don't worry about it.
Okay, but just let me do the gesture. The first round's on me.
Okay.
It's the gesture.
Cyan, get around for the table. Siren, get yourself a cake.
I am.
Okay, nice. Yes, please.
How
So
much
yeah,
is
do
cake?
you need me to remind you a bit more about that ship that was hired already?
It's got a crew of what's it, like ice dwarves.
Yeah, Arctic dwarves.
Wolgar Windrune is the captain. Ship's name is Soul of Winter. That's all I have.
That's all you needed. So yeah, so you've basically been told about this ship. When you go back to meet Orbrick, he'll give you the specifics of where you can find it, where its berth is, and basically send along his manservant as well. So I don't know if you want to do that.
I think like eat some food, have a couple drinks, and then head off. It's still like late morning now or something, right?
Yeah, no, it's probably around 11 o'clock. Pushing it with lunchtime, probably 12.
Yeah. Try and aim to get there like 12:30 or whatever.
So who all is going with to the signing of this contract? Is everybody going with?
We all need to go with?
Don't care.
I don't think you need to, but if there was any
Okay.
reassurances that you might have wanted, you could go and get it.
No,
Don't care.
I'm fine. I'll get drunk. You can do it.
I'm gonna go with.
Yeah, I'll go with.
All right.
Actually, I think
I'll take care
stay
of
at the
Kitty.
tavern. Yeah. No, I'll actually stay at the tavern.
Okay, so
Corellis.
Xerxes and Corellis. Sorry, Byron, what is that?
Corellis, would you mind signing for me, please? I really don't want to go.
So,
Okay, I'll free.
So 4 of you are staying at the inn.
Yes.
And Corollas and Xerxes, you make your way over to that same dilapidated mansion. You are greeted once again by that strange-looking half-orc manservant who says to you, "Back so soon? Wish to see the master."
I say yes. I've discussed with my associates.
And you hear a voice calling from just inside. "Oh, just let them in, Verthig. Stop your nonsense." And the butler steps to the side, pulls the door open a little bit wider, and gives like a little half bow and holds out his left arm, pointing. And it's like inviting you in.
I'll head in.
As you step through, as you step in, it's like a little entrance hall. To the left, you hear a voice shouting, basically, "Come on through, come on through. I've got everything ready for you here." And Verthig follows you as you head into this room. And you see it's like a long, basically, dining room. There's some old, trophies on the wall, like hunting trophies and things that are a bit moth-ridden. Some old coats of arms hanging here and there. And a long, oak table, fairly wide. It probably seats around 18 people. You see, it's got a old cloth of gold runner going down the center, and sitting not on the. The words don't come out of my mouth. Sitting on one of the ends, but with some of the chairs just arranged neatly. Around him as well. Some space has been made and opened up. You see a bunch of paperwork, and you see Orbrick himself that's busy shuffling through it. And he says, "I'm just busy going through the final details. This was a bit of a rush job, but I think I've covered everything." And he points to a small chest on the table, and he says, "That's your advanced pay." And I'm going to drop it into the party sheet for now, and I will distribute it so that you guys have it, and I don't forget to do that shit again. And he says, "Are you signing on behalf of your entire group?"
I say yes, I am.
And he's got this ink pot and this quill, and he dabs it and he holds it out to you, and he says, "Well, if you all agreed, let's get this business done. The sooner you leave, the better for me and you."
Right, you are.
I'll sign on the dotted line, and I'll say, to the first of many pleasant interactions, my friend.
So you didn't read the contract at all?
Well, surely the contract says exactly what we agreed upon last time. Like, go find the ship, find the
I could
thing.
be
give it-
such an asshole now.
What language is it?
Oh, naive.
No, it's written in the common tongue, just with some additional legalese. But no, it does say exactly what he said, the agreed upon terms. But so help me, Ellen, I think I need to get a devil to make another deal with you.
Well, as a dwarf, I would have read everything twice.
In real
Oh,
life,
did he read the contract with his god at all?
I will say this, that this is precisely the kind of thing that his mistress would appreciate.
Reading contracts.
More like making money.
Yeah. So listen, in real life, I would have read that contract through and through. I just assumed that the contract would say exactly what we had discussed previously.
No, don't worry. I'm just fucking with you. It's not. It is exactly as the terms are exactly as you agreed upon.
I mean, unless you want to share the contract here on my D&D screen, and I'll read it quick.
Nope.
Just look for that clause. Your souls are now
It's the like
determined. Who's Glacier's rival?
The other
Many.
8 princes of hell.
yeah. But-
Yeah, you just got to check that fine print wasn't promising all our souls to one of them instead.
Hey, I'm happy with that.
No.
But basically, in addition to the signing of the contract, there's a couple of copies. He signs his name and he puts his official seal on it as well. And he says he will have this handed in at the Duke's court for record keeping, by way of the lawgiver, basically, to keep record of it. And in addition to that, he hands you another letter, and he starts giving instructions to Verthik. And he says, if you are ready, Verthik will join you now and escort you down to the Soul of Winter to introduce you to the captain.
We will just have to stop past the Lark and Laurel to fetch the rest of the contingents on the way. Please,
Absolutely.
your orcness.
Your orcness. Verthik gives a very dignified grunt, and he says, well, let's be off. And you see he heads off to this coat stand. There's this black coat that he puts on. He's got a little hat that he puts on as well with this white scarf, and he's now ready to escort you. And he grabs a walking cane. A most unusual half-orc. He says, don't tarry, I don't have all day. And he starts marching out the door, and he waits for you to join him on the porch. Shuts the door behind you and starts leading the way. And unerringly, he takes you to the Lark and Laurel, where he waits at the reception, basically, while you gather your companions. And if it is alright with you guys, I feel my mind is completely not with it this evening. If we can call it here, then we will do the whole introduction with the dwarfinesses. You'll meet the dwarves and you'll get underway next week. And now I'm doing my best dwarvish accent, and I don't know why.
Scottish.
Half Scottish, half Irish. Sometimes I try and I get the wrong one. To me, the best is the Northern Irish. I cannot for the life of me imitate their accent. It just cannot be done. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. Sorry for being a shorter one this evening. But yeah, let's just say it's been a week, it's been a day, it's been a month. And we will see you guys next week. We will continue and actually get onto the seas once again in all likelihood.
Yeah.
Good night. Stay safe. As usual, the podcast will be up in the next day or two, as well as on the YubTubs. Check out our socials for all the links. Good night.